Sometimes finding a clean book to read can be very difficult. Unlike the movie industry, there are virtually no rules or regulations about what authors have to disclose about their books before you open the pages. So every time you open a book, you run the risk of reading something that you don't really want to be reading. So that's where I come in. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, how are you? How has your week been? I am Jess, and I much prefer to read clean or closed door books that I love to recommend to y'all. But you might not know that I also have a blog called Your Big Sister's Library, where I post full in-depth reviews about books that I read, and I try to include as much information as I can think of that I think someone would want to know before they choose whether or not to read a book. So you've got things like trigger warnings and content warnings, if the book is spicy, what pages I skipped while reading, but also you've got the tropes and what diverse representations are in the book and the overall vibes of the book and like my personal thoughts and feelings about it. So if that interests you at all, the link is always in the description of my videos. Today, let us get into some clean book recommendations, sports romance edition. This first series, I discovered it in the fall of last year. If you have seen my clean book recommendations romance edition, then you will have heard me talk about the Sweater Weather series, which is an interconnected small town romance series. Well, the first book in that series is actually the first book in this series, the Appies series, which surrounds a minor league hockey team that lives in Harvest Hollow, where the Sweater Weather series takes place. Each book follows a different starter, or the players that are on the ice the most. It is a hockey romance series, if I didn't make that clear. There are currently 6 books in this series, but I don't know if there's going to be any more. The 6th book actually just came out pretty recently, so I have no idea if there's going to be more in the series. The first book, Just Don't Fall, this is a fake dating situation between Logan and Parker. Now, Logan has just come to the Appies from the Carolina Hurricanes, where he got in trouble, and so now he is going down to the Appies to kind of try to fix his reputation before he gets brought back up to the major leagues. He's kind of in a timeout. And Parker is the social media manager for the Appies, but they also knew each other when they were younger. Logan was best friends with Parker's brother, but they haven't spoken to each other since high school. Somehow, Parker accidentally tells her family that she's going to be bringing Logan as her date to a family function, so now they have to get to know each other again and fake date so that way she can show up her family. This one was really cute. Logan is very much an acts of service guy, which I find that I am enjoying much more now when I'm reading romance books. Having the characters do little things that show that they really listen to the other person when they talk is just one of my favorite things to read in a romance book. The second book, Absolutely Not in Love, is a neighbor's forced proximity situation between Felix and Grace. Now, Grace grew up, her brother played hockey, so she has sworn off hockey players. She does not like hockey players, but she lives next door to Felix, who is the goalie on the Appies, and he really likes Grace. He's just absolutely intrigued by her. Like, he is doing all that he can to get Grace to change her mind about hockey players. So something happens in Grace's apartment, and she can't be living there anymore, so now she has to move in with Felix for a little bit. She is not very happy about it. I loved how there were so many different layers to Felix and his personality, and how we gradually got to see them unfurl just as Grace did. So then the third book, A Groom of One's Own, is a marriage of convenience between Eli and Bailey. Eli, he is from Canada, and very, very reminiscent of The Proposal. His visa runs out, and unless he wants to lose everything that he's built here in the US, he needs to get married. Bailey is struggling. She is trying to go to vet school, but she works at the animal shelter where Eli goes to hang out with dogs. And she is the sole provider for herself and her grandmother. And she is now getting to a point where she is unable to continue to pay for the care that her grandmother needs. So she is looking for a way to find money. That's how she and Eli end up getting married. Seeing the way that they actually like get to know each other and grow feelings is actually adorable, and Eli is so protective of her immediately, even though there aren't entirely like feelings involved, but immediately he's like, no, I'm gonna take care of my wife, like regardless of whether or not this is a quote-unquote real marriage. Like, I'm gonna take care of her. And it's so cute. The fourth book, which I actually just read, is Romancing the Grump, which is a grumpy sunshine between Summer and Nathan. So Nathan, he's a very broody person. He doesn't smile much, he doesn't talk much, and he does not date. Now Summer, she is the newly hired legal counsel for the Appy's team, and she's actually best friends with Grace from the second book. She has had her eye on Nathan since the first time she met him. She thought he was so cute, and she really wanted him to ask her out, and he didn't. So now she's like unsure what's gonna happen now that she works for the hockey team, but it was so cute seeing both characters like open up to each other and how they like both were on their own individual like healing journeys from different things that have happened in their lives was so cute. And seeing how they both helped each other but also understood that there were some things that you have to fix on your own that you can't have other people help you with is like so cute. And then the fifth and the sixth books I have not read yet. I just started the fifth book this morning, Runaway Bride and Prejudice, which is about Van. From just like the first 15 pages, he is at a wedding for his coach's daughter, and he finds the groom cheating with the maid of honor. I'm assuming he's gonna tell her, but he has this reputation for being a womanizer. His teammates always make fun of him for hanging with a different woman. I imagine there will be some issues with that. And then the sixth book, the most recent book that came out, is When Alec Met Evie. So I'm assuming it's between Alec and Evie. From like the general plot summary, it says it's best friend's brother and a single parent. I love a good single parent. Just seeing the other main character interact with the kids of the other one is just absolutely adorable. So those are all the books in the Appy's series. You know, all of those are hockey romances. I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a variety, you know, since I said this is a sports romance edition, not just a hockey romance. Through my research of trying to find clean sports romance books, I found Anna Conwell. Her fictional universe is all intertwined, kind of crazy. She currently has 3 series out, and they are all interconnected. The first series that I was reading was the More Than a Game series, which follows a group of friends that are all professional athletes, but they play different sports. So the first book, The Golden Goal, is a hockey romance, but I didn't read that one. I was like, I've read so many clean hockey romance books, and I'm trying to find ones that are not hockey. I skipped that one, but I did read the second one, which is The Perfect Putt. It's a golf romance. I had never read a golf romance before. I'd never even heard of a golf romance before. But something that I noticed when I was reading these books is that they don't really focus on a lot of the actual sports playing. I said this in another video, but I was like, I don't know if that's something that's common amongst like all sports romances or if it's just this series. Yes, it's a golf romance, but like it didn't talk that much about golf. Like it's not like full-on rundown of a golf game every 5 pages. But I actually enjoyed this a little bit more than I thought I was going to. It's a boss-assistant romance between Ellie and Miles, and he is looking for an assistant, but he has a problem where he keeps hiring assistants who are trying to seduce him, which he does not like. He wants somebody who can do their job professionally and help him to do his job better. So he hires Ellie, who hates golf. She thinks golf is stupid. She thinks it takes 0 skill, but I loved reading this book so much because I knew it was clean going into it. Being able to just like flip the pages and not worry that you're gonna get smacked in the face with a bedroom scene is awesome. I didn't realize how much stress I have when I'm reading open door romances that I'm gonna turn the page and stumble upon something that I don't want to read. Because like I'm finding more and more that open door romances, the door is open in more areas than just like a bedroom scene. It also means that there is a potential for the conversations between the FMC and the MMC to be more spicy. Those parts are a lot more difficult to just skip through because they'll just say something in the middle of a conversation and it's like super uncomfortable to read for me as somebody who does not really like to read spice. I was having so much fun reading these books that immediately after I read The Perfect Putt, I started reading The Run Option, which is another marriage of convenience. Once again, somebody's visa runs out and they don't want to get deported, so they get married so they can can stay in the country. This one is between Jason and Willow, and Jason is a football player. Willow, once again, social media manager for the football team that Jason plays for. She really does not like him because he doesn't realize that they had actually met before she started working for the football team. Then the next book, The Double Play, is a baseball romance and a single parent trope, but that one comes out May 6th. And then I also read One Last Play by Anna Conwell, which is the last book in her Sweet Peach series, which follows a group of four girls who were college roommates. And the last one, One Last Play, follows Sebastian and MJ. Sebastian is actually a college football coach, so it's still in the sports romance genre. He has been raising his niece, Maddie, and so single parent. MJ is his daughter's art teacher, and he's like, oh my gosh, I love her. I want to marry her. And she's like, no, definitely not. Like, that's uncomfortable. I'm your daughter's teacher, and I don't really want to talk to you. The way that he just continued to pursue her over and over throughout the book and teach her that it's okay to like let love in even when you've been hurt was just absolutely adorable, and I just loved it so much. Those are all of the clean sports romance books that I have read in my life. I have loved reading all of these books. Like I said, reading clean or closed door books is just so freeing, and I didn't realize how much stress I was experiencing when I was reading open door romances. I am planning on making a lot more clean book recommendations videos in the future. I hope you guys got some good book recommendations from this video. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Comment down below if any of these books caught your attention and if you're planning on reading any of them. And subscribe to my channel for more bookish content in the future. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.